So we thought, oh, we'll go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all. I heard.
So we figured, gracious, we'll go to Chapel Kid. We'll go with MC Mallet. Yet he was the most criminal one of all. I caught wind of it. While MC Mallet, alongside his rapping vocation, shared a decent amount of hoodlum exercises, one couldn't ever have fixed him for a hoodlum. Yet think about what it seems he was perceived, in certain circles, as the most dreaded hooligan of his time, much more hazardous than Suge Knight. Yet the inquiry is the reason what are his previous stories you are going to figure out American rapper, musician, artist, and record maker Stanley Kirkborough, most popular by a phase name MC Sledge, had a difficult childhood in a monetarily distraught area in East Oakland, California. He grew up with a few kin and encountered the difficulties of residing in a climate tormented by medications and wrongdoing his folks isolated when he was only 5 years of age, passing on just his mom to raise them. When addressed on how he figured out how to avoid the criminal operations in his environmental elements, MC Mallet credited it to his profound love for his mom, and his assurance not to let her down. Popularity is a two-folded sword, and not very many individuals can truly manage popularity. On the off chance that you were given a decision among notoriety and fortune, accept the fortune as a little youngster. MC Sledge tracked down ways of bringing in some additional cash by hustling tickets from the Oakland A's baseball players and exchanging them. He was at that point all around familiar with the game scene on account of his more seasoned siblings who held positions with the group. Notwithstanding his ticket-selling adventure, he would put on unrehearsed dance shows in the parking garage, joined by his dependable radio, exhibiting his initial enthusiasm for dance and amusement in 1978. During the disco period in my city, one of the blistering things was suits from the 40s. And one pivotal day, the group's proprietor, Charles Finley, ended up spotting MC Sledge and was dazzled by his gifts. This prompted an exceptional chance for Mallet, as he was employed as a clubhouse partner early in life of nine. His devotion and difficult work had an enduring effect in Finley and the group, at last driving him to a VP position inside the organization during his initial teen years. As other collaborator to the proprietor of the group, whose name was Charles O. Finley, and I was made the most youthful chief VP in America baseball, likewise assumed a vital part in molding MC Sledge's character. Oakland A's outfielder Reggie Jackson saw how much Mallet looked like individual outfielder Hank Aaron, whose epithet was the Sledge. It was Reggie Jackson who gave youthful Stanley his moniker after Sledge and Hank Aaron. The change into MC Mallet had started in the wake of finishing secondary school. MC Sledge set out on his advanced degree at a neighborhood foundation, yet before long became demoralized with the experience. Thusly, he pursued the choice to enlist in the military and served in the naval force for quite a long time, getting a respectable release during his time in the tactical. He teamed up with a flatmate to make different music demos directly in their garrison huts. After his tactical help closed, MC Sledge spent a period as an individual from a gospel hip-bound bunch known as the Blessed Phantom Young Men. This different excursion eventually added to his multi-fade profession in the music business. I opened up the American Music Grants with Don't Pass Me by. Regardless of his otherworldly calling, Sledge was never timid about partaking in the material awards of his rap. MC Sledge sought after his energy for music by getting a significant advance from 2 or 3 previous Oakland players. This monetary help permitted him to lay out his own special record name, which he named Busted Creations. Under this organization, he established Bustin' Records, a free name where MC Mallet expected the job of president. I need to get the glove. The glove would resemble the award like the death of the light. Perhaps realize something to that effect. Definitely better believe it, something to that effect, yet rebranding himself as MC Sledge, which represented MC. He recorded his presentation collection named Feel My Influence and delivered it autonomously in 1987 on his own name. This undeniable the start of his music profession. and his excursion towards turning into a prestigious figure in the music business rock. Unlet you through sheer assurance and difficult work, MC Mallet accomplished a phenomenal accomplishment by selling north of 60,000 duplicates of his introduction collection. Anyway, his significant advancement happened in 1988. While performing at a dance club in Oakland, he grabbed the eye of a record leader who was entirely dazzled by his ability and accordingly offered him a multi-collection contract with Capitol Records. He reviewed in a meeting, "I was an understudy at that point, so I'm like I couldn't imagine what $110,000 resembles I don't for even a moment figure. I can spell it in a real sense. 10 minutes after the fact the telephone rings, and the person goes, 'Hey, is this MC Sledge? I'm calling from Capitol Records with a new arrangement MC Sledge. Reshoot his most memorable collection. This time naming it We Should Kick It Off, and adding extra tracks the collection highlighted famous singles like Siphon It Up, Turn This Mother Out, They Put Me in the Blend, and the title track his third collection, Kindly Mallet, Don't Hurt Him, was delivered in February 1990, and incorporated the Graph besting hit You Can't Contact This, which examined Rick James' super oddity. This famous tune additionally cemented MC Mallet's status as a prominent figure in the music industry. Lamentably, MC Sledge faced legitimate difficulties when Rick James sued him for copyright encroachment in regards to You Can't Contact This. The claim was in the end privately addressed any remaining issues, with Hammer consenting to acknowledge Rick as a co-writer. This plan implied that Rick James was qualified for a portion of the significant profit produced by the record. "I put an exceptionally operatic vocal design on it, 'cause I'm truly into drama," James told Performer magazine. "You presumably hear a ton of that in my music anyway." This wouldn't be the main time MC Mallet wound up in lawful questions connected with copyright issues. Regardless of these legitimate difficulties, MC Mallet kept on encountering progress in his vocation. He had hits with a front of the chits, Have You Seen Her? And the melody Pray. This venture, alongside his different victories, procured him the qualification of having the principal hip jump collection to accomplish jewel status, a huge achievement in the music business search. Long in 1990, a film with similar name, as his collection was delivered to ACC organization MC Mallet's Music. During a meeting with Maria Shriver in the mid-90s, Sledge uncovered an intriguing goodie about his profession. He had guaranteed his legs for a faltering $10 million, a safeguard to safeguard the resource that launched his prosperity. "I surmise they would put there for me to choose to wear any of those this evening. I see an applicant around there. You do. What are you going to wear?" I can't help thinking that that Grinch would appear pretty decent, notwithstanding his wonderful accomplishments. Not all that in MC Mallet's vocation was going great. He confronted analysis for the dreary idea of his verses, his clean-cut picture, and what some apparent as an over-reliance on testing in his music. Furthermore, he turned into the objective of joke and tunes and music recordings by various craftsmen. It's significant that a portion of these disses were reactions to saw affronts started by Mallet himself. They got some information about MC Sledge. "And we said, you realize he can't rap. He's not a decent rapper, extraordinary performer. He's an incredible performer. Yet he can't rap. You understand what I'm talking about?" You remove the bouncing around at the pinnacle of his vocation. MC Sledge was a long way from being viewed as a hoodlum rapper. His brand name Parachute Pants, carefully arranged dance moves, and pop-arranged records put him aside from the dirty picture, related with numerous hip bounce specialists at the time. Thusly, he frequently turned into the subject of jokes and was marked a sellout by a portion of his friends. His picture was so immovably settled that when he endeavored to embrace a troublemaker persona on his 1994 collection, the Crazy Head Tracker, he confronted distrust, with some seeing him as crafty in this change. And he's not in any event doing the phony rap that he got his homeboy shouting every one of his vocals. And he's simply bouncing around. You understand what I'm talking about? So Oak, as a general rule, the Sledge who enchanted the world With his accommodating grin was a talented entertainer, one of his fans, composed as a Narrows region local. I was a die-hard Sledge fan. He carried fervor, dramatic skill, and standard variety to hip jump when it was very untouchable. I value him for conflicting with contrary to what would be expected. Despite the backfire gratitude for the incredible video, he was a hip-bound superhuman to me. Another additional mallet is one of the realest rappers to at any point do it. He was gone after by his own friends who were desirous of his distinction. An ability the vast majority, everything being equal, don't have a history as perfect as him. Yet Stanley Burrow, the man behind the stage name, had a durability that ought to be considered carefully. This reality became clear in an experience that the rapper Redond had with MC Sledge in 1992.